Hey everyone, starting off by putting some linseed oil on a black canvas. If you got magic clear or liquid clear, whatever you want to call it, put it on. And it's such a thin layer you literally can scratch it. Just want to make sure these edges are covered. I'm doing it this way because when I scratch around the edge, it usually pushes under the tape and causes it to bleed under. Alright, just pressing as hard as I can, trying to pull all the oil down. Alright, I'll put some more on here. Now I'm going to show y'all how to, if you think you put too much on it, I'll show you how to get it just right. I'm going to go ahead and add some more. Notice tonight I'm putting on way more than I usually do. I just want to show y'all how to get it off. Because I'm using post board, I'm going to have to go back in just a minute and make sure I don't have no dry spots. I shouldn't have any dry spots because I put quite a bit on it. And I usually say that if you don't have dry spots, you probably put too much on it. We're just going to get a paper towel and wipe it off. Hold on, let me grab a paper towel. Alright. See if I can sit there without disturbing everything. Alright. Just going back over the whole thing. And I know you'll go over it 100 times. If you do it right, you will have some dry spots. Alright, everything is nice and shiny, which I kind of expected that. If you don't have dry spots, you probably put too much on it. Let me show you how to fix it. Just get you a paper towel. And literally just wipe off what you can. Don't scrub. But just wipe off what you can. You can flip it over. See, look at all the oil. Bob said whatever is left after you get finished wiping is perfect. You're not going to be able to get it all off. Alright. Tonight we're going to do a blue and white seascape. 2 colors. That's it. The other night we did a red and white one. And I did a black and white one on Facebook. So I'm going to do a bunch of different color ones. And to show people you don't have to get a whole bunch of colors. 2 colors and some linseed oil and a black canvas, and you can try this at home. Alright, let's get a good thick brush. Make sure you got a dry brush. That the paint thinner and the linseed oil has a bioreaction. Bob Ross teaches lessons on how to use it in paintings, but if you're not trying to use it, it'll mess it up. Alright, let's get some should we use Prussian blue, which is really dark, or Vallejo blue, which would be a brighter blue? Alright, let's go dark. Bright. Wait a minute. Alright, so that's one bright, one dark. Somebody break that. Anybody. Got one bright, one dark. I don't want to decide. I need somebody to pick. I'll tell you what, might even mix it a little bit. Alright, it's dark then. Alright, let's have some fun. Thank you, sis. Alright, dark it is, dark it is. Prussian blue. Alright, so we got the canvas nice and wet. Took a paper towel, wiped it off. We know that it's perfect. That I'm using post board. And the reason why you have dry spots on post board is because it soaks up that first little layer. If you got it thin enough, that's why I say you should have dry spots. If you don't have dry spots, take paper towel and go over it. Wipe the whole thing a couple of times. You're not going to get it all off. Alright. So I got my big 2-inch brush here. And we'll just start just really pushing in that color. Very little paint though. This is almost as thin as the oil. Let me show you again. We'll grab a little bit of paint and pull it out. Very little. And then press really hard You're just packing it all the way through. That's all. Getting a lot of color on there, not a lot of paint. You could put a whole bunch of paint up there, but it's just going to take you a long time to blend it down thin enough. You could scrub it on. This is one of those parts where Bob would say you could put it on with a roller. Yeah. And because I'm sitting in front of it, I can see that color coming down. I'm not sure if y'all can. And I taped off. It was a white board, painted it black with acrylic. You don't have to go buy black canvases. Just paint over another picture with acrylic or gesso. People recommend gesso. Use what you got. Alright, now I'm using the whole brush because all this up here is dry. I can pick up anything that's too heavy. I was just putting color on the tips. All this is extra paint I don't need up there. I'm going to keep pressing harder and pulling it down. And it's going to take off everything I don't need. And it's really pushing the value of that blue down. Alright. Now, when I'm doing this, even when I'm doing oil, I'm always tapping the center and pulling outward, thinning that layer. Alright, let's clean the brush. That is a lot of fun. You got some frustrations in you need to come out. Alright. Give me a nice stiff fan brush. I'll show y'all one I like a lot. Now there's all kinds of fan brushes made out of all kinds of different material. I like a really stiff fan brush. Some of them get wet and just flop over. Those are good for something else, I'm not sure. You got to get some brushes and get to know how they work. They may not work for what you're trying to do. Change to another one. Alright. I'll clean some of my white up. The red painting I did the other night. Got some pink in my white. And I'm not going to throw that away. I'm going to move it over to another pile. Use it on another painting. And I leave my paints out. The drier they get, the better they work. Like when they get a good, nice skin on them, peel that skin back. It's ready to go. And I say that because you can always add a drop or two of thinner and thin it down. And every single time you thin it down, you can add another layer to it by thinning it down. A thin paint will stick to a thick paint. One of Bob's #1 rules, or top 10 at least. Alright, so to load up the fan brush, once again, we're going to pull paint out. And I want to wiggle. And when you're doing this, the center loads up really easy. It's those edges that you want loaded. So turn it to the side, flip it over, wiggle it. Alright. Let's put a little bit of color up here, and then we'll turn that into some light. Just trying to figure out where I want the light to come from. Alright, we'll do it right in here. So just with the tip, I'm just going to make some small circles. None of it really even matters. Just put a little color up here. We're going to blend it out in a minute. Alright. Doesn't take much paint at all. I'll get my little 1 inch and I'll use the corner of it to make small circles. And try not to stay in one spot. Once you hit a spot, move. If you need to go back to it, that's fine. Just don't stay in that same spot. Alright, we're going to blend this down light. The more I rub it, the lighter it'll get. Alright, let me get it. Now we're going to put us a little moon up there. Once again, I don't want to pick up a lot of paint. If you do, you're going to make a mess when you try to go over it. Start with very little. If you need to go back and add more, do that. So I put paint on it and then I tap it in dry spots until a lot of it comes off. And I just have bristles that are colored. And just hold it in the center and spin it. If you try to go the other direction, it'll mess up on you because it gets bigger when you go the other direction. Only because when you're spinning it, the bristles are curved. So when you go the other direction, they straighten out and then it gets wider. So try to go in one direction. Alright. Just going back, wiggling through the paint, getting those edges covered again. We're going to start. Once again, you just always want to keep your brush moving. It's just really important. You know, you got two sides, flip it over, use the other side if you need to. Alright, go back to my 1-inch. Hold on, let me put a little bit more light right up there. Alright, that'll work. I don't want to touch the edge closest to my light. If you put your light down here, you would blend the top and not the bottom edge. But because the light is up here, we want to leave that top edge nice and bright. Blend everything under it. Just small circles, left, right, go both directions. I do it all the time. Alright, just want to blend the bottom so this you can't really tell where they start. Alright, and then small X's around this back edge. Alright, now we'll take a big brush. We're going to fluff these up. Bob said try to do them one at a time. And if you do them at one at a time, you can literally stack clouds right on top of each other. Start from the back side and just, it's like a half of a circle. And you stop right when you get to the front of the cloud. It'll leave long stringy things, but the object of this is to pick up that heavy paint that's right on the edge there. But we don't want to blend it. We want to keep that nice, strong white. Alright, now I'm just going to lightly drag my brush across these, and those lines will disappear, and it sets your cloud down into the painting. I would say hypnotize it, whatever you want to call it. Trying not to go over my sun there. I want to keep it nice and bright. I mean my moon. Because it's wet, you never really committed. You can go back and change anything. I'm just pulling some of that light down right there. Now, what I was saying about stacking clouds, once you've got that thinned out, it's going to take this next coat really easy. And I'm not cleaning my brush at all, just going back into the white, reloading. And that's what I mean by stacking them. You can literally go right over the ones. Just put it up once you thin it out. If it looks like I'm hitting a spot or staying in a spot, it's because I'm missing it. I just want to use the edge to twirl this up. That's it. Sometimes you can just set the brush down and wiggle it as you just don't even pick it up. Just set it down, wiggle it. All right. It really picks up any paint you don't need and blends them out really nice. And you have a little bit more control when you're not trying to use the whole brush. Alright, let's fluff it up. Now I got a towel on my lap, and every time I go up there, after I finish blending, I wipe off the end of my brush. I just don't want to do something, not know. Well, how do you keep your brush clean? Constantly wiping it. Alright, and if our light was down here, instead of blending upward, we would pull from the back of it forward. Just depends on where you want your light to start. Alright, let's see. Save some of these dark spots. Man, they make a painting look so good. To me, they do. I could be wrong. No. A lot of people will just take their brush, stick it to the canvas, and start twisting. You can do that. It makes beautiful clouds, and it's even more random. But to me, it just deposits a lot of paint. I have done it that way, though. I have. That's how I know. To me, it deposits a lot of paint. I'm not trying to be blending forever. Anytime I don't see a nice white edge, I want to go back up there and try to brighten it a little bit. Just ran out of paint on that edge. Alright. A little bit through here. That'll work. Once again, just touch the canvas, leave the brush there, and just turn it. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Alright. Now we'll come back and do that bottom line. Just right under here, same thing. Blend those edges out so you can't tell where they start. You can pull that light further and further down. And you kind of go back up there and pull more white down. I want to get rid of those brush strokes and blend it down. Alright, and then constantly, you can either knock your brush off or wipe it off on towel. Either way, it doesn't matter. And right here, I'm not even really doing circles, just grabbing it and pulling it down. But then I can go back, blend it out, just on those edges. Because of all that blues on there, you keep going over it, it'll go back blue again. The cloud will disappear. Alright, a little bit further. I want to go about halfway. But you can't start your C if you ain't got some kind of light source back there. Because any dark color we put up there is just going to blend in. So first we got to get something back there that's going to separate the water from the sky. I'm going to try to go in a straight line across here, but I'm just depositing a little bit of color back here, not a whole lot. Because I'm using just the tip of that edge, I had to reload. You want to put enough paint up here so that when we blend that down, we got enough light back there to show the water. Alright, I think that'll work. Back to my blending brush. And same thing. Just circles, don't touch the top edge. Alright, now I'll go back, try to pull some more of that light down a little bit further. And it ain't got to be, you can have different variations, darks and lights back there. Don't worry about making it a solid edge. I'm really pressing kind of firm too. Really wanting to pull down what I can. Alright. Let's fluff it up. And we gotta fluff up the ones above it. Alright, but it's fine. We're gonna hypnotize the whole painting. If you start getting a bunch of white through there, wipe your brush off. It just means the edges are really thick, and that's fine. Alright, now we're going to just lightly pull the brush across the paint. Make sure I cleaned it off. I'm not pressing, no pressure at all, just dragging the brush. Alright, and you do that because if you wanted to go back and add another layer, maybe trees or mountains or whatever it is, that layer, you keep just piling paint up, you end up making mud. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. I ain't got my glasses on. Maureen, thank you. Right, and it has a lot of distance. Alright, just want to get rid of some of those brush strokes and soften it. Alright, just like that. Now we can go back with a little bit of blue and have a nice edge for sea line. Make sure you're using a brush you can control. Normally I put up tape. Split your canvas. This is 16 by 20, so about 10 inches. But split your canvas. Or if you want to show more sky, come further down. If you want to show more water, go further up. Maybe you want to put enough room in it for a beach. Alright, so back into my dark blue again. Now once again, I'm just tapping the color on. If I put a whole bunch of paint up there, I won't be able to, it'll make it harder for me to put another coat on top of it. Alright, let me start down here. Of course, now because we have all that light source, we could even put a hill over here, mountains, anything you want to do and use, you could do. You're constantly playing light against dark, dark against light. You gotta have them both to show. And this is a good example of why that's so. Alright. Normally I put tape up, so I'm sorry if it's a little looks crooked. It may not be. It's alright. Maybe it's wavy back there. That's what I'm gonna say. Alright. Just want to use the rest of that blue to get rid of all that light source. This is gonna have such a nice border because, like I said, it was white and I taped it off with that white border and then painted it black. Alright, clean the brush. I think the next one I'm going to do with the Indian yellow. It's another color that you can't see on black until you hit it with white. And man, it lights up. It is so bright. It doesn't look bright, but as soon as you touch white to it, man, it turns... It's like a brownish color. And then when you hit with white, it turns like the brightest yellow. Alright, let's see. Alright, so I'm going to use my liner brush. Now that we got the water in there, I need to start marking out my wave. I'm going to thin this out just a little bit so it comes off my liner really easy. And I usually just add 2 drops. And if I need to add more, I'll go back and add more. They have these little squeeze bottles. Just check this out. Works perfect. Get them at the DG. Alright. Start thinking about that wave. Maybe I want a little bit of beach in it. Yeah. Gotta have some reflections from the water. Alright, so we'll think about it right here. And it comes down. Alright, not really worried about these lines in the back, because then we'll come back in a minute and pull that white paint back. Alright, so here's going to be our eye. Everything should get bigger as it gets closer to you. So start thinking about a triangle. Alright. And we'll say that's the top of it. We need to do the bottom. We'll stop that right there. And let's see. Better get bigger and bigger as you're coming down. That'll give you the right perspective. Alright. First thing I'm going to do is take a clean fan brush. I had to clean that little brush real quick. Alright. I said nice and stiff. Really thin one. Actually, no. Here's the one I was looking for. Let me show you the difference. This one is really thick on the end. That one is not. Like a rake. Really stiff too. Alright. So right here, in order to keep your lines straight, you need everything to go to straight to the right. These lines that we pulled out here, and what I like to do is rock my fan brush. Just grab that back edge and rock it. We're just touching it and turning. I might have to go back and add more paint. That's fine. Always start with little, then you can come back and add a bunch. Alright. Pulling those lines straight across really makes it right. Alright, and we'll go back and add a little bit more paint to the edge. I'm going to do my line. Nice strong white line and blend it. At the end of the painting, we will come back and highlight these edges. I'm going to let it fade out as it gets back here though. We're going to cover that up in a minute. Alright. And do the same thing again. Grab it and pull to the side. Try not to go in front of your line though. It's alright if you do, we'll fix it when we do the highlights. The closer you are, you can see the paint on the edge of that line, whether there's more to grab or not. Right, I'm going to add a little bit through here. Alright, once I put that color in, I'm just going to rub it. Alright, before we come forward, let's go ahead and do the back. Now I'm going to take my liner brush again. soften that up a little bit more. You can pull away, or you can pull the blue into the white if you want to bring it back closer to you. All right, back to the liner brush. You gotta think about these waves behind it. So let's start right here. We want to stay on the edge of these lines we got in here. All right, and over here the same thing. Get smaller and smaller as it gets away from you. Okay. Just make sure to pull these lines straight across before you put any angle to it. Alright, now we're going to do the same thing. Use your fan brush, grab, pull it to the side. It's okay if you touch that edge, because like I said, we're going to come back and add highlights to some of them. Like the water's going to be about to come over some of these spots. But you need, for this to look right, you need that dark edge. Your light's back there in the back. This side of that wave, you're going to have a dark edge. On that side, the light's going to be hitting the back side of the wave. So you need that dark edge. All right. Now we'll start thinking about the back. We want our light to come from back there and forward So I'm going to start over here. Just a little light back here. I wanted to start in the back, but I couldn't. Do it this way. When I start back there, I can't see the distance between these waves. That's one. All right. I'm going to go ahead and rub these out. Oh, man. Sorry, guys. I think I'm getting a puzzle piece. Yep. I get lost in the in the painting. Come on now. All right, I got it. All right, a couple more, and then we'll add the light. Very little back here, very little. We're gonna blend it down. Just don't put a whole lot. Couple more on this edge. All right, back to my fan brush, clean one, clean fan brush. Grab it, pull it sideways again, and grab the whole thing, the whole edge. We're gonna come back and add some highlights to some of these small ones out here on the edge. we won't be highlighting. When I say that highlighting, I mean that we're going to put some more white over it. The more you rub it, the lighter it'll get. Alright. Now we're going to focus on just the light source and bringing it forward. I want then to paint out just a couple of drops. Make sure to spin your liner brush. Spin it through your paint so it gives you a nice tip. Alright, so right underneath that light, that's a little too dark. Alright. And what we'll do is just make this bright wider and wider as we come forward. You don't have to highlight every single bit of it. You can skip around. Just keep that focus on starting small back there and getting wider. And it ain't gotta be straight lines. Water is so liquid. It moves everywhere. Alright, now before we move to the big wave, I'm going to take my fan brush and just a couple of these spots, pull it over like it's just about to start dropping. You can always go back and add more light to it if you want. And now next to me. Alright, that'll work. Alright, that works for me. Now I'll start working on the wave. Alright, let's go back to the fan brush. Alright, before I do the top of my wave, I like to put in some of this bottom. Once again, pull straight across before you go up. Let me get another brush. Pull it straight across and then up. And as you get further away, don't pull up. Let it straighten out. Really pressing firm. Pulling those lines on back some. Alright, now we can start. Right up here at the edge, I want to save a nice black edge, just like we did right there. But I want to bring these lines up to the edge. Let me use that other brush. Not a lot of paint, just color on the bristles. That's it. Don't want to put a lot of color in there. All right, clean that brush. All right, we'll go back and fix this edge. All right, that works. Just using my blue to straighten up my line here. In a minute, we'll pull down some reflections in the water. We'll make it look like a wet beach anyway. We'll put some light right there by the wave. Alright, let's see. I'll go ahead and do these. Once again, just pull these straight across. Alright. Now we'll start dropping the wave over. Alright, the fun part. Wiggle your fan brush through your white. Alright, right here at the top. Right as it's coming over. Pull it down. And then come over, start at the top of that one, and as you come over, drop that down. And we're coming, making it smaller as we're coming over the top. Let me bring this edge down a little bit more. Perfect. I'll bring it down one more time. All right, that works for me. Before we go any further, we're gonna go ahead and put in some light. Some to make it like a wet beach. Let me use a different brush just to show y'all this. So the fan brush is kind of curved. Get you a nice straight edge. You know, maybe you got a fan brush that's straight edge, that's fine. And what we want to do is, even though we're coming at an angle, I'm going to tap this right here and pull it straight down. Make sure you're pulling it straight down. If you try to put an angle to this at all, it will not look right. I want to get as close to that edge as possible. And just like everything else, the closer it gets to us, the bigger it should get. Alright. Since I know I'm going to have water out here, I'm going to go ahead and go under it too. Just keeping paint on the tips. Only thing I need. Alright, that'll work. I'm going to get my blending brush this time. Alright, we need to go back and pick up some of that heavy paint. I tilt it angled, but I'm still going to pull it straight down. Only go back over it if you think it's still thick. Because in a minute we're going to swipe it sideways, and that's what's going to make the reflections. Well, that's what's going to make it look like it's got a wet beach. We can add some color to it afterwards. Alright. So now I'm just going to swipe. Not a lot of pressure. Keep going over it till it looks right for you though. Pull these straight across. Any kind of angle, it won't work for you. I'm just using some of the blue. Like I said, you can always pull it up to lighten it. Alright, now we got a wet beach. Before we go any further, let me go ahead and put some waterline in there. Get my small knife. Look, really small roll of paint on the end of it. You gotta flatten it out with the knife and then go back and pick up that little small roll. Right underneath here, I want to start using the knife and make sure you're scratching it straight across. As you're coming down, you're just letting the knife as long as you shake it straight, you'll put these water lines in there perfect. But you need that dark edge. Alright, if you want to, you can go back and put it in. But if you can do this and keep it, just get you a little blue. You don't want a big gap in between in there. Just a little, that little shadow, that little line there makes it like it's thick. And it's thick enough to have a shadow under it. Alright. Let's see. Do the same thing over here. I'm just using the tip. Can't put the whole knife down back there. Ain't enough room. But as I come forward, I start using more and more of it. Alright, we can end it right there. Right there. Alright. Going back to the fan brush. Loading it up. I'm even going to thin the paint out just a little bit. I want it to come off really easy. 2 drops. I've already got paint on it, so I'm just going to alright, right here where it's hidden, I just want to tap, showing that it's shooting outward and upward. The way you angle your brush and tap it shows that. Save some of that dark spot. You need it for shadow. Sometimes I let the whole brush hit, sometimes I just let the bottom corner hit. You'll get used to your brush the more you use it. Out here, I want to start showing these as they're coming forward. Right. Now I'm just touching and letting the canvas take off what it wants. Alright, and we'll stop right there and add a line for my need to add a dark line underneath there to give us that shadow like it's thick. Doesn't need to be a big line though. Get it to where it's about like ink. Make sure to spin your brush in one direction so you get a nice sharp tip. All right. Let me bring this back in. This little bitty hairbrush don't pick up much paint. All right. Now we can put some backwash, and we'll use the knife to do that too. And then the last step will, wait, hold on. I need to make that line a little darker. Always sit back. Take a look at your painting. To see if you're missing something or if you want to add something. But the dark line kind of fades out. And this is what I meant by you can go back and put it in, but you don't want to mess with that nice white edge. And you want this to be as small as you can get it. Alright, that'll work. Alright, back to the knife. We'll do some wash back and then put some sand in it. We'll be good to go. Let's see. Once again, a small roll of paint right on the end of the knife. And we'll come off with this a little bit. Just once again, shake your blade straight. No? Alright. Okay. Okay. Looking for, let me get that liner. I can need a little bit more. A little bit more light, that is. And then we'll put some sand and some spray up here on top. Unlimited what you can do. It's just about how much time you're willing to put into it. Alright, that'll work. Just wanted to open that light up a little bit more. Alright. Let's take the tape off and see what it looks like. I love borders, I just do. And it gives you a place to grab the painting. Anybody that's painted a whole canvas knows, it's, especially if it's not dry, it's difficult to deal with. Having that border gives you a place to grab it. Oh yeah. 2 colors, guys. Y'all gotta try this. You got to. Um, yes and no. I can paint. All right, so Mama asked me to do a house that she grew up in, because they were in foster care. I can do the painting, but I can't do it Bob Ross way. He shows you how to make barns and old buildings. But I'm doing a piece for Wayne at Mom, and it's gonna look really good. I drew it out. It just takes time because you got to do it in layers. You got to put one color on, let it dry. Another color, let it dry. I hate that part about doing paintings like that. Because I don't like setting paintings to the side. It bothers me. I get more enjoyment out of finishing them. The whole time they're sitting over there, I'm checking them every 6 hours to see if they're dry, and it usually takes 2 or 3 days. Only colors we used on this was Prussian blue and titanium white. I also put my videos on rewind, so people can rewind them if you need to. Oh man, I forgot something, and I'm not gonna go back and fix it. I was gonna do the spray, but if I do it now, it's gonna get all over the border. Always sit back and look at your paintings. That's what happens. I start looking and I'm like, I should. Oh yeah, the back's already been done. All right, so I've been painting since October of 2024. So this October will be 2 years. The first year and a half, I did not number one. I mean a one, and I want to say I've done at least 300, maybe 5, because there were days I was doing 2 and 3. Especially when I first started, man, I just couldn't stop painting. So I just started numbering these. I think this one is number 13 or 14. Also, so it'll give people a way to find them. I don't sign the front. I never do. My name messes the whole thing up. But I will put it on the back. I don't have a nice, easy name like Ross. So they're signed and dated. Before I didn't do that. I just signed it and I dated it the day you got it. But now I sign and date them the day I do them. Yeah, I've been thinking about getting a stamp made, but then I'd have to wait for it to dry. And it bothers me to set a painting to the side. It really does. They come out looking fabulous, but I'm thinking about it the whole time I'm sitting there. That's the problem. I see a little something I want to fix before I go sit down. Alright, so this is a different kind of a fan brush. Like I said, they all do different things. This one is kind of wore out. You can see some of the bristles are missing, but I actually still use this thing a lot. I like it that it's missing those pieces, because when you go to use it, it puts in random lines. I just gotta thin it out a little bit because I don't want to come off. Now, if you thin it down too much, like down to ink, you'll just get globs. There. Just to give it some stronger lines up there. You know what? I am going to put some splashes above the wave. I wanted to do some down here, because if you do it really lightly, you can get some really, it looks like a nice sandy beach. Alright, so let me show you how. Put 2 drops of thinner, and I'm going to use the paint that's on here. Just wiggle it through the thinner. Do it a couple of times, let it mix real good. If you don't, it'll be too thin, and you'll get globs. Or if it's too thick, you'll get globs. So really, you got to play with it a couple of times. Do it on a piece of test paper before you put it on. Alright. Got it on the brush. Now I'm going to take it and scrape it off. Right onto the edge. Alright. Then I'm going to take that same brush. You know, it's not thin enough that it's running off my knife. But I did thin it. I'm going to start at the top of the paint on the knife and just slowly start flicking these lines right across it. And you can put that spray exactly where you want it. Shooting up, shooting out. You know what? I am going to go ahead and do the beach. You're not going to see this white on the white. Just lightly. Try not to get into this part of your wave, but on this beach, yeah. Some are lighter than others. Just barely touch the bristles to the edge as you're going across. The more you touch it, the bigger, the more amount it sprays. Oh yeah, That works. Y'all can't see it, I don't think, but I can. Take a snapshot, you'll be able to zoom in. Hey D, you can use whatever blue you want on yours, man. Light blue, purple, whatever blue you want. Now I notice you ain't got a picture. Do you even have pictures on your profile, or are you just one of those trolls? I ain't met one yet. I hear about them. Yeah, you're just flicking the brush across your knife. And all right, so when you're doing it this way, you're just using the tips. Like I said, the more bristle you use, the bigger chunks. So just barely graze that blade as you're doing it. Way too much blue and dark. Well, I guess you didn't know it's on a black canvas, huh? So I didn't even put the dark in. But I appreciate you being here. Every comment counts. Oh my. Alright guys, I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all have a great night. Thanks everybody for all the likes and the comments. If you have any messages or anything for me, just send them to me privately. I try to answer everybody, if not today, within 24 hours.